So this is what happened. Last week, I shared 5 truths about endometriosis. Please, if you've not checked out that video, do well to check it out because it is loaded. Now, I noticed that there is this particular question that a lot of people had in their mind while watching that video. Even up to this moment, people still have that question. And it is, what exactly is this endometriosis? Like, what exactly is it? Because it sounds like an unclear grammar, endometriosis. What exactly is this stuff? So while I was having all those thoughts in my head, I said to myself, you know what? Everyone watching right now deserves to know what truly endometriosis is. Like, everyone really need to picture it clearly. You need to get to understand it plainly without it being difficult. Now, before we go deep into this episode, right where you are, I want you to look into your screen. And if you notice that you have not subscribed to Health Tuesday, we ask that you kindly subscribe, because doing this, you are joining us to make the world better. And also, when you do this, you are encouraging us to bring the best your way. So please hit the subscribe button, because I am pretty sure you want to make the world better. Thank you for subscribing. Let's go deep into the episode. What truly is endometriosis? Like, what exactly is this whole stuff? Because you find out that this particular condition or this particular word is literally everywhere. Everywhere you turn to your social media, it's there. But then, today, I want to help you understand plainly what this condition is all about. For you to actually understand this health condition, or rather this problem, because it is actually a global problem, for you to actually understand it, I want you to imagine, for instance, you're a lady, so imagine that you are about to see your period. Imagine your period is about to come out. For your period to come out, first of all, you need to understand, like we as ladies, we need to understand that so many things begins to happen in our womb before our period even comes out. One of the things that actually happen is that there is this lining in our womb. There's this lining inside our womb. Okay? This particular lining, which is called the endometrium. Don't worry, just understand that this lining is called endometrium. This particular lining begins to get thick, like it becomes big, and then it breaks down. After it becomes thick, it eventually breaks down, it eventually sheds during our period. Our period actually contains this endometrium. Okay, this whole thing that I just mentioned about this lining inside of our womb getting thick, after it becomes thick, it breaks down and shed during our menstruation. This whole thing I just said, it's very, very normal. It is okay and it is important. But where the problem lies now, taking you to this whole stuff about endometriosis, is that another tissue entirely begins to grow outside of the uterus. It begins to grow in the cervix, it begins to grow in the fallopian tube, it begins to grow in the ovaries, like where our eggs are being produced. This other tissue begins to grow there. It begins to even grow in places like the stomach. It begins to grow in the bladder, our bowel. This other tissue begins to grow anywhere, anyhow. And it is not supposed to be. This whole thing whereby this tissue begins to grow outside of the uterus is what we call endometriosis. So certain tissue that looks like the normal lining or the normal layer in our womb, certain tissue like that begins to grow outside of the womb. It begins to grow in places that it's not supposed to grow in. And this is the second thing about this particular stuff, is that it also thickens as well, but it does not break down. It just stays there. It just thickens and is there. So wherever it is found, if it is found in the cervix, it is just like that. If it's found in the ovaries, it's just there. It doesn't break off. It doesn't shed. It is still there. If it is found in the fallopian tube, it doesn't break off. It is there. So this whole thing is what we tend to call endometriosis. So the process of a tissue looking like the lining of the womb growing outside of the womb without it breaking or shedding off is endometriosis. I believe it is now very clear to you, like this whole thing is clear. Now you know this, I would actually encourage you to please share this information to other ladies you know, like to any female figure you know in your life. Share it across them, share it to those WhatsApp group you belong to, share it to any community you belong to, because with this, a lot of women will not be wandering in uncertainty. They will be so happy that now they understand it clearly, plainly, and they can actually picture what this whole stuff is. If this actually impacted you, don't forget to drop your questions on the comment section. We'll be right there to answer as soon as we get it. And please, we want to beg you, put on your notification bell so that whenever we drop important information as this, you'll be the first person that it would get to. I'm sure you really want to take charge of your health.